Harper Perennial and HarperAudio present Girl Next Door by Rachel Meredith. Performed by Jeremy Carlisle Parker. 1. When MC managed to find a spot on the overcrowded subway platform, she made sure nothing about her was disturbing anyone's personal space. Not her messenger bag, not her posture, not even her hair. A blonde mess she'd partially wrangled into a top knot. Satisfied, she took out her book. She was rereading a Rebecca Sloane novel, a self-soothing ritual she performed after breakups. This latest split had been typical, undramatic, blameless, and not MC's choice. So it called for the typical remedy. In this case, the passion and suffering of a Byzantine empress and her handmaiden. Their love was doomed, but it was beautiful and epic and, around the halfway mark, steamy. Though she was 26 and theoretically beyond getting excited by fingers brushing a wrist, MC blushed as a train arrived and she was carried by the human tide into the air-conditioned car. She gripped the pole that ran above the seats. A napping woman in a shawl opened one eye to stare at her, like she knew. "The next station is Prospect Park." MC's phone buzzed. "How are you still basically at home?" The train lurched into the tunnel and she lost service. Joe had summoned her to his office with zero notice, zero context, and a lot of all-caps messages about how he was freaking out. And no, he couldn't discuss why. Just come, please and thank you. She'd text him back in a minute. She looked down at her book again. The Empress was getting ready for a ceremony with some priests, and her handmaiden was getting handsy. It was classic Rebecca Sloane. Two women from the distant past were consumed by lust for each other, then cursed by society to either suffer or perish, or suffer and then perish. This was her most hopeful work, in that the lovers got to eke out a secret affair with the blessing of the gay emperor. In the epilogue, the handmaiden died of pneumonia on the Black Sea. Still. MC knew Sloane's stories were old-fashioned, but they appealed to her on some primal level, for reasons she didn't understand and didn't want to. Trundling over the Manhattan Bridge, she pulled out her phone. "Train trouble, sorry." "Ugh, just tell me what's going on?" Joe didn't reply. She figured he was in the middle of a conflict with a writer or minor television celebrity. Painful emails with someone's lawyers needed to be exchanged. He'd been increasingly stressed about work over the past year, calling her late at night or early in the morning to discuss contract details and pitches he was on the fence about. MC was a freelance writer herself, though she mostly worked in advertising these days, so she was a safe and knowledgeable sounding board. Also, highly available. Most importantly, they'd been inseparable since middle school and trusted each other in the way of old married couples. Not that either of them knew any of those. She got off at Canal Street and walked with her hands in her pockets, enjoying the late afternoon breeze. It was early September. The warmth of summer lingered, even as New York's business-like pace left no doubt that fall had arrived. The scent of cinnamon drifted from a cart selling roasted nuts. Jackhammers pierced the hum of traffic. MC had grown up in a quiet Long Island suburb, but adjusted to the sensory assault of the city in college. Now, she kind of liked it. It helped that when she graduated, she didn't immediately aspire to the office caste. For the past 5 years, she'd had the luxury of traveling during off hours, experiencing the grind when it was a little less grinding. Freelance work had been her only option at the time, but now she was glad she'd ended up in it. She made her own schedule, sort of, and she was her own boss, more or less. She knew she wouldn't feel quite so serene if she weren't in good health or had to take care of someone, but for the moment, she was comfortable. An established
Sample complete. Ready to continue?